The notes area is something I use for most races. The top box here is really a reminder. So if you're juggling a lot of races like we are, like a lot of timers are, you're doing enough races where you may get, of course, you may get some race directors that are they're just giving you information months in advance constantly. And, you're obviously thinking about, you're primarily focused on your next race, not one that's 3 months down the road. But so it can be real easy to lose information or to let things get buried in your email. And so what's handy with the notes field here is you can set up your race in the software, and then simply as you get information from the race director or any information you might need to be aware of, often I go snooping around on the website or Facebook page, anything I can find. I try not to bother the race director unless I have to. Now, of course, I always, before race day, verify what I think I know to make sure, is this right? Are the divisions right? Is the starting time right? All the things. But when, like, for example, hotel information or anything, like, for example, which way are the participants coming to the finish line on this street where the finish line's at, or whatever. Any information that you think is important, I would put in the notes field. Now, this notes field, that's saved in the database. So even if you're having another timer time it, they can pull up the event, go to the notes area, and see all of your notes you put in there for it. So this is what I use a notes field for, is just race-specific information. These are the things I need to know to do a good job for that race. So that's the top box there. That's the notes. The bottom box is something I never use. You may never use it also, but this is handy for a couple reasons. If you end up needing it. So let's say that you show up on race day, and let's say the race is an hour away from the race director's home. Maybe it's at some state park and whatever. And you show up on race day, and let's say they're going to do the old school paper registration. And so there's no online registration set up for some reason. That it's just 100% paper. Well, the problem is, what if you got your stuff set up and you're ready to roll? Which usually the timer shows up before anybody else. But so let's say you're ready to roll, and then all of a sudden here comes the race director, and they're freaking out. They're panicking. They're like, oh my gosh, I left my registration forms at home. What am I going to do? Well, you could put in basic information about the race. Let's say the race. Have fun, stay safe, run to win. I don't know, something. And so you can put as much as you want. You can copy it from the website or whatever, just basic stuff, and hit save. Now this is there's two things that this says. Now it says race info for registration form and website. If you were to push this event up to run sign up, this race info would be on the main page of the run sign up page. And so also, though, if you were to go over here, view reports, and if you needed to kind of swoop in and come to the rescue, the software has a generic registration form that you can print. So whatever notes you put in there will be here on, like, hey, thanks for coming out, whatever announcements and notes you want to make. The software also has the ability to do course maps. You can either import a map, or it's actually got a course mapping feature built into the software. Where you can put in a URL. There's lots of different course mapping websites, and then you can snip it out of that website and save it. So what I'm trying to say is the software can create a decent looking registration form, and really all you care about is this information and that they sign some kind of waiver maybe. Also, we need to get their bib number in the top right. So the point is, if you ever show up on race day and the race director, or you needed more registration forms, the software has that ability to print them. And so that's what that second notes field box is for, is information that you want to push up to run sign up. Oops, this one. Or information you want to show up on the registration form. But the primary thing you want to use is the notes field at the top.